it's us for our
Say your
Genius
name.
Seeks Genius class. My name's Sydney,
My name's Israel.
I'm Shay.
and we're here to show you how to make some good ravioli.
So we're gonna start off with making the mixture because you'll need to put it in the fridge while you make your dough. Israel, our lovely assistant, he'll be showing us the ingredients. Cream cheese.
You will need 4 ounces.
Italian seasoning.
This is a replacement for other herbs that we don't have.
Egg.
You will need 1 egg and just to crack it in the mixture, both the whites and the
No.
yolk.
Provolone.
You will need to shred this to put it in your mixture, a 4th cup.
Mozzarella.
You also need a 4th cup of this. It's already shredded. Wow.
Oregano.
This is also to replace seasoning we do not have.
That's it for the mixture.
You will put them all in a bowl and mash it up with your hands because a spoon does not work.
It
And
doesn't.
after you create the mixture, you will put it in the fridge or the freezer to keep it cold while you make the dough.
For the dough, you will need flour.
You will need flour to make the dough sticky together. You also need 1 egg. And it has to be half beaten in the mixture. Put it in a well in the flour. We will show you how to do that soon. This is the mixture we will be using for the inside of our raviolis. Thanks for watching us make it. So now we're going to the dough portion. You will need 1 cup of flour. We don't have a cup, so we will just eyeball it because cooking food isn't rocket science.
She's an expert chef. Don't worry about it, folks.
Don't pat my back.
Okay.
You also need salt. Not a lot of it.
Didn't mention that.
We didn't mention it before, but that's okay.
Like a pinch of it.
Just,
It was common sense.
yeah, it's common sense. Now, we need to mix the dry ingredients together before we add anything else.
Combine salt and flour.
Yes. So once you finish mixing the dry ingredients, you will make a well in the middle. I can't show it to you, but there's a well in there. It's a
Imagine
hole.
making a donut with your flour.
Yes. So we need another bowl
To crack your egg into,
and make it half beaten with a fork.
oh, I'm a master.
That was pretty good.
I like to smash my yolk up before I beat it because that makes...
Wash your hands to avoid salmonella.
Yeah, that too. We're half beating this egg. This is how I beat eggs because I don't often beat eggs. But it works. It only needs to be half beaten, so it doesn't need to look good. Once you beat your egg, pour it into the well in your flour. Once you have poured your egg into the well of your flour, you're gonna start mixing with a fork or, well, a fork works best, but a wooden spoon would also work. The mixture will not catch all of the dough, so in this portion you'll just need to put as much water as you need in it. The dough should look like dough.
Depending on how your mixture is turned out, if it's too sticky, add more flour.
Yes. And your fork will have this kind of dough on it. This is what your dough needs to look like. Doughy. Dough.
Dough.
It's pretty doughy, though.
Put the fork and the other stuff aside. Probably clean it up. Probably. So now what you're gonna wanna do is sprinkle some flour on the counter.
An assistant can help.
When you have eggs on your hands, it's best to use an assistant.
And just spread that. Yeah, I'm gonna let you do that because you already have the flours on your... Or not.
Once you finish the dough, don't let it rise because it's pasta dough, and pasta dough doesn't always need to rise. Wow. First, you don't really need to knead the dough because the more stiff it is, the harder it is to roll it out. You will need a rolling pin for this process to roll it out into a straight sheet.
Once you've achieved getting a rolling pin,
You will need to put flour on it so it doesn't stick to your dough. Just like that.
Uh-huh.
And now you roll out your dough into a very flat sheet. It can be as thick as you want, but preferably a very thin sheet because it needs to be large.
you will roll your dough out to a thin sheet. You're going for area here.
Continue to wash your hands through this process because
Just like a
hands
chloroplast.
need to be washed.
You need to remain sanitary, especially if you're serving others.
Mm-hmm.
After your sheet is thin and rolled out, you're gonna wanna take a pizza cutter and cut it into a square. So if some dough is not even with the rest, you're gonna just cut it right off because who cares about it?
Cut a rectangle.
Preferably. Once you cut the dough, take the excess and repeat until you get another thin sheet. After you get your sheet, you're gonna wanna cut shapes that look like raviolis. Now, we're not perfect here, so
Cut squares as best as you can.
exactly. You're gonna cut a square and fold it to make sure they meet up correctly. And cut the excess off each side. It's too bad you can't see this. It looks really good.
Delicious.
This is a real big ravioli.
Repeat.
Once you finish your rectangular sheets, you're gonna cut them all in half. As long as they're semi-even with each other, it'll be okay. So now you're ready to get your filling out of the freezer or the
Fridge.
Our filling has beef in it. You want that to be pre-cooked when you put it in. But
No
we're
raw
teaching
beef.
Yes, we're teaching you how to make cheese ravioli, not beef ravioli.
So ignore our beef.
Thank you. So once you have your raviolis cut up funny like that, you're gonna want to make sure they're not sticking to each other. So put any flour you need on them. And you're gonna take a fork and just take some of your filling.
Just dollop a bit out, directly placed into the center of the ravioli.
And put as much as you think you might need into your ravioli.
If you want them fully stuffed, maybe go for a little bit more. If you don't like a lot of filling, maybe go for a little bit less.
So gently place the second ravioli over the first one and press each side down on top of the other. After you do this, you're gonna take your fork and press each side down better.
Make the sides look like a toaster strudel.
Preferably.
This ensures that nothing falls out after.
This is
Seals the edges.
so sticky.
Okay, we're a little sticky, so we're gonna add a little bit more flour.
If you're unhappy with the shape of your ravioli, you can cut off some of the excess on the side. If your ravioli is stuck to the counter, oh well, you failed.
Dip it in a bit more flour as you
Okay, we are only making one singular ravioli. So we are using a baby pot. Depending on how many raviolis you make, you're gonna want a bigger pot.
or a smaller pot.
For ravioli.
Pot size dependent on ravioli number.
No matter what size your pot is, fill it up halfway or so with water and put it on the stove. We're gonna need to put some salt into our water. It's lightly salted. Look at that lightly salted water. Once your water is lightly salted, you're gonna wanna turn on your stove top. Usually, there's a knob and you turn it to a number. While your water is boiling, you're gonna wanna make some sauce.
To do this, you can add your store-bought jar of sauce to a small pot and simmer it on the stove, or put it in a microwave-safe bowl and zap it.
Now that you have your sauce open, make sure to put it into a pan or into the microwave. When you put it in the microwave, put something over top so it doesn't explode everywhere.
Make sure the cover is also microwave safe.
Once you open and reseal your jar of tomato, please put it back in the fridge. Now we have some sauce in the pot, a pan.
Continue to simmer your sauce while you cook your ravioli. Now we wait for our water to boil. Make sure your water is brought to a boil before you place the ravioli. The watch pot never boils. Water is boiling. You can add your ravioli.
Preferably don't drop it straight in or you'll burn yourself. Just gently place it in with the fork you previously used.
Woo!
Since this is homemade, you're going to want to put it in for more than 5 minutes like you do with packed ravioli. So stir for as long as you need until it's not stiff anymore.
Occasionally stir your sauce so it does not burn and stick to the pan. Once your ravioli is done cooking, turn off the heat. Remove your pot with ravioli and water from the stove. Place a strainer in your sink and pour the water and ravioli into it. The water will drain and the ravioli will remain.
Wow! Now you're ready to eat. Your sauce will be placed in the bowl you eat out of.
In whatever way works best. That was not that way.
And now it's time to eat.
Come on, Izzy, let's try the cooking.
Are we gonna let it cool down first?
No.
Can't wait. Make sure you cover your ravioli as much in sauce as you want. I'm trying to cut it up so it'll be easier to eat, but it's not working. So you really just gotta, oh, this is gonna burn. Ow! It's really good.
Do you want to try, Izzy?
Yeah, I'll try and mix it.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we've already got our flour in the bowl, so I'm just gonna give you the egg, and you know how to do it.
So I just make this into the dough.
Yes.
Delicious.